The Great Lakes are not simply Canadian territory. They form the largest freshwater system on the planet. For decades, Canada allowed American cities, farms, and industries to treat this water as an unlimited resource, even as Canadian communities began facing growing water insecurity of their own. That era is now over. Not a single drop leaves Canada without explicit approval. That was Mark Carney speaking in Thunder Bay, moments after signing the Great Lakes Protection Act into law. There was no consultation with Washington, no transition period. Just an immediate and total ban on water exports from a basin that supplies drinking water to over 40 million people and underpins nearly $890 billion in annual economic activity, a system built on trust until it wasn't. For generations, the Great Lakes operated under an unspoken agreement. 5 massive interconnected lakes straddling the US-Canada border, shared management, cooperative regulation, mutual access. American states withdrew water for cities, agriculture, and industry. Canadian provinces did the same. No one seriously questioned sustainability. The water seemed endless, scarcity felt impossible. Then reality intervened. Climate change changed everything. Lake levels began to fall. Superior approached historic lows. Michigan Huron dropped 2 levels unseen in decades. Erie and Ontario followed. Climate change accelerated evaporation, reduced winter ice cover, and disrupted precipitation patterns. The balance that had sustained the system for thousands of years began to fracture. As shortages worsened elsewhere, American attention shifted north. When scarcity breeds entitlement, the American Midwest faced longer droughts. The Southwest entered full-scale water collapse. The Colorado River no longer reached the ocean. Aquifers in California, Arizona, and Nevada were drained faster than they could recharge. And suddenly, politicians began asking a dangerous question. Why should the Great Lakes hold trillions of gallons while the Southwest runs dry? Proposals emerged to pipeline Great Lakes water west. Engineering studies showed it was feasible. Political support grew. The argument was simple. Water is a national resource and Americans in crisis deserve access. But the assumption behind that argument was wrong. The Great Lakes are not just American. Half the basin lies within Canadian territory. The water feeding US cities flows through Canadian soil. The systems supporting American industry pass through Canadian jurisdiction. And unlike oil or minerals, water is irreplaceable. Without it, cities fail. Agriculture collapses. Entire regions unravel. That reality forced Canada to act. Closing the loopholes, Canada technically banned bulk water exports in 1999, but the law was porous. Bottled water was exempt. Industrial transfers were allowed. Most critically, the ban applied only to exports outside North America. If US states wanted Great Lakes water, the law didn't clearly stop them. The Great Lakes Protection Act changed that. Water may not leave the basin in any form without explicit federal and provincial approval. That includes bottled water. That includes industrial use. That includes pipelines to American states outside the basin. Every loophole was sealed. Why this is real leverage? The economic consequences are enormous. American agriculture across 8 states depends on Great Lakes water. Manufacturing uses it for steel, automotive production, chemicals, and food processing. Power plants rely on it for cooling. Shipping routes move hundreds of billions of dollars in cargo each year. And now all of it operates with a new reality. Canada has legal authority to restrict access, not vindictively, not impulsively, but undeniably. Water cannot be replaced. This is what makes the leverage absolute. Water is not fungible. It cannot be imported cheaply. It cannot be synthesized. It cannot be substituted. There is no military solution, no tariff countermeasure, no force that can compel an ally to surrender water. Canada controls critical choke points: St. Lawrence outflows, Niagara flow regulation, Lake Superior discharge routes. Any restriction would be legal, enforceable, and unavoidable. Trump misjudged the balance. Trump believed tariffs on agriculture gave him leverage. Carney revealed something far more powerful. Canada controls the water that feeds American cities: Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Buffalo. Millions of Americans depend on water flowing through Canadian territory on Canadian terms. The illusion of inevitability is gone. Pipeline plans to the Southwest weren't fantasies. They had funding models, political backing, engineering designs. Arizona wanted Phoenix and Tucson secured. Nevada needed Las Vegas sustained. California sought to stabilize collapsing aquifers. All assumed access was inevitable. The act ended that assumption instantly. It doesn't matter how severe American shortages become. It doesn't matter how much money is offered. The water stays unless Canada agrees. A permanent shift in power. Western governors reacted with outrage. Accusations of hoarding followed. Pressure mounted. Carney's response was blunt. Canada faces its own water challenges. Canadian communities come first. American policy failures are not Canada's obligation to fix. That message resonated at home. Communities along the lakes had watched corporations bottle millions of liters while local infrastructure declined. Now, control had been reclaimed. This isn't a threat, it's a fact. Canada is not draining the lakes. No diversions are planned. No cities will be cut off. But the authority exists, and that changes everything. Every American escalation now carries risk. Every trade threat invites resource tightening. Every pressure tactic makes cooperation less likely. Trump wanted to demonstrate dominance. Instead, he exposed dependence. The locks are installed. The Great Lakes corridor isn't closed, but it's controlled. Canada installed the locks. Canada holds the keys. And access now depends on respect. There is nothing Trump can do except watch the water flow and hope Canada chooses to keep cooperating.